Craig Ballantyne, welcome to the Cup of Joe Marcoux
Great to be
podcast
back.
show.
Great to be back.
Yeah.
I haven't been here before.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Let's just dive right in. I mean, you've worked with thousands of entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
What's the first self-deception you notice in people who say they want freedom but never actually build it?
They say too many other things that are in the opposite direction of that. So they say they want freedom, but for example, I was talking to someone this morning, and they just casually referred to one of their actions as an illness, as if they were ashamed of it. And they were, so it's this negative self-talk that people use around success stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like giving lip service to the I want freedom, but in their minds, they either don't believe that they're worthy of it, they don't believe that it's possible. And so they're saying one thing, but they're talking themselves out of it on the other.
So
it's like saying I'm bad at sales, right?
It follow up this. It's like most people say they want freedom, but they still build businesses that end up owning them. And I mean, I've been down that road before. So what's for you? What's the real price of freedom? Because it comes with a price.
Sure. So to that point, yesterday I was talking to a guy, a new client. He runs a granite company. They sell this stuff. And he said one of my employees made more than me last year. And I'm like, we've all been in that situation. Yep. Most entrepreneurs have all been in that situation.
Yep.
And the price of freedom is, that deserves a lot of difficult conversations. That deserves a difficult conversation with yourself about why that's happening. That deserves a difficult conversation about, in a lot of cases, a lot of entrepreneurs do overpay people.
Yeah.
Because maybe the person asked for it, or maybe you think I'm going to lose. It's like a bad relationship, right?
Yeah.
Like people stay in relationships because they think that they're never going to find somebody else, but they overpay somebody. They give great titles and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that needs a difficult conversation. But there's just a lot of difficult conversations. Is the price of freedom? It's the price of a good marriage. It's the price of a transformation, a body transformation. The coach has to have a difficult conversation with the client if they're not getting the results. So,
and a lot of that's internal,
sure.
As opposed to they think it's a money thing, or it's a external, it's a leads thing, it's a market thing, and it's like the price is you got to do the work.
Yes, you do.
You do the work.
You do, and you have to prepare. Like I've got a difficult conversation on my schedule today at 2:00. I have tried to get in their head and make sure, put myself in their shoes. I mean, it's going to be a brutal. I don't know, I'd say probably like 12 first minutes.
Yeah.
And then, there's going to be a breakthrough. And then at the end, everyone's going to be, holding hands and singing Kumbaya. But man,
you've seen this before. You've obviously done that before, where you've broken through with people.
Well, yeah, but, Coach Daniel on our team actually built a framework for it. Like, here's exactly what to think about before you go into a difficult conversation, because it's like, going into a fight, going into a football game. Like, you've got to think about what the other team is going to do. And so, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to be put on blast for about 12 minutes, and then we're going to get out of it.
Nice.
And so it's short-term pain for long-term gain is the cost of freedom.
Love it.
Yeah.
So at this stage of your life, what behaviors do you have zero tolerance for, like in business or in people?
I am really getting to the point where I have zero tolerance for other people dragging other people down. So listen, you want to spiral?
Yeah.
You want to engage in drinking, drugs, gambling, pornography. You want to do it? I don't like that you're doing it, but you go self-inflict the punishment.
Yeah.
But don't you dare drag somebody else down. And so, I had some friends who went to a casino this weekend. One guy, the lead, the ringleader of it, says, "What's the problem?" And I'm like, listen, I don't know what, you would say to your wife if she asked you if you went, but I know these 3 other guys that you took, they're going to lie because they're not good.
Okay. That's behavior and that's right. I mean, it's interesting that you say this, because I've been caught in a situation where somebody came up to me and he said, "Hey, dude, my wife's coming," like literally his wife was coming down the aisle at a conference. He said, "I was with you last night." And I'm like, no. I'm not going to deal. I am not getting caught up in your drama, bro. And so, you can't let somebody come in and be a dream stealer.
No. And there's a great Mark Twain quote that goes with this, that if you tell the truth, you never have to remember anything.
Yeah.
And so anyways, I'm very disappointed with a friend of mine who took these guys because, again, listen, that guy can afford to lose $500, $1,000.
Yeah.
The other three guys can't, and the other three guys cannot, tell a lie to their wives. Now, hopefully their wives won't ask them.
Right.
And so they never have to go down the white lie, which leads to the red flag, which leads to the black death of marriage.
Yeah.
But that's the problem that I have. And that's a pretty extreme example, but it's everything from, not negative self-talk, but self-talk, commiserating and complaining. And, it's just that type
You don't
of
need
stuff.
the drama.
I don't need the drama. And honestly, the most painful thing is that it doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
It doesn't have to be that way. And, I'm not even tolerant of my mom's dislike of Trump,
I can't bring it up to my mom either because she just goes off the rails, and it's like, okay, you gotta change the subject.
My mom actually asked me if our friend Bedros was a Trumper the other day, and I said, "Listen, he's like me, Mom. We don't believe in any of these guys.
Right?
Would Bedros voted for Trump? I probably would have voted for Trump.
Yeah.
If I had a vote, I get to pay the IRS, right. But I don't get.
You don't get the vote.
I don't actually get the vote.
Yeah.
So most of my entrepreneur friends' mom would vote for this guy. Now, I don't like him. I don't think that there's a lot of qualities to emulate about the guy, but I also don't believe that he's going to make me rich. He's not going to make me poor. He's not going to make me fat. He's not going to make me thin. He's not. I'm the guy who does all that.
Sure.
And I tease my mom because she's like, "I'm never going to America." I'm like, "Oh, okay. You're also going to Nashville next month." Yes, but it's the
case in point.
It's the Grand Ole Opry's 100th anniversary. I have to go, but other than that, I'm not going back. Mom, I'm also going to Nashville in April. Oh, I might come down for that.
Yeah.
So it's funny, but it goes back to the negative self-talk, the dragging yourself down. It doesn't need to be that way about anything. Don't blame other people. That's certainly
radical accountability. You've taught me that. You came up with this word. I wrote this one down. You came up with the word struggling.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. I actually stumbled across it.
Yeah. So what's the most common lie ambitious people tell themselves when they're stuck or struggling, or as you call it, struggling?
I would say that a lot of people believe that this is a individual situation, that there's circumstances that are only specific to me. This would not happen to anybody else. And it's, so at the mastermind, I talked about the objections that, you're a sales coach, objections, right? So people have these beliefs that you have to overcome. So first of all, will your thing work? Does this process work? Okay. Yeah. I can believe that somebody can build a funnel and make money on the internet. I can believe somebody else can do it.
Yeah.
Then you meet somebody and it's like, yes, I can believe that you did it because of your situation.
But
I can't believe that I can do it because I have 2.1 kids and 3.7 dogs, and you only have 1.9 kids and 3.1 dogs.
Right,
so
right.
Therefore, and so every entrepreneur believes that what they're going through is individual. And yes, it's true, right? It's all individual, but it's not any different. And I like to believe that, and I know this, that there are people out there in worse circumstances than me doing more than me. Even at my age, even in my situation, I know this to be true. And one of the people that comes to mind, there's actually two people. I don't know how to say either of their names properly.
Okay.
Nick Santanosis.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Nick?
No.
You've never seen? Okay.
So talk to me.
So Nick lives in Dubai now. He's an American. He was born with no legs.
Oh, yes, I know who Nick is.
Yeah,
okay.
Right. So
once
I get to he has no legs.
Yeah.
But the thing is, so Nick has no legs. He has
he's got one arm. He's got like one piece of an arm.
Right.
Like,
and guess which finger he has?
Like pinky?
No. He has this one.
Does he have this one?
So he does bodybuilding. He's one of the greatest motivational speakers
ever.
He's in with like the leader of Dubai is like his buddy.
Right.
So he's in Dubai because he's building this great opportunity. But here's the thing: there's another guy exactly like him, Nick. I think maybe his name is also Nick, and then it starts with a V, and it's a Slavic name.
Okay.
And you got to look this guy up. I can't spell his name, but I'm like, wait a minute. There cannot be two motivational speakers with no legs and one arm.
And they're crushing.
Nick might not. The other Nick might even not have any arms. Give me a break that you can't overcome what you're going through, right? Because
I don't have problems when you hear stuff like this, and these are the guys that are saying, I don't have problems.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's like there's such a shift of mindset, and we're going to talk about identity in a sec because I wanted to jump in because you've been known as the godfather of discipline.
Something.
Yeah, somebody's giving you the godfather of discipline. But you did write the book along with Daniel Woodrum, The Dark Side of Discipline. When it comes to discipline, what's the discipline you still don't like doing, but you do it anyways because you respect the result?
Oh man, I still don't love, walking into a room and cold,
right?
Like even
like a networking.
Well,
thing?
I mean, even our events, it's like I like if people could see the routine I go through before I leave my room, it's like, you know what? Maybe I need to tidy up this protein bar over here, and maybe
the procrastination.
Right.
Totally. Yeah. I might have maybe I'll have another shot of creatine before I go.
Right. Exactly.
I'm going to brush my teeth again.
Yeah. It is stuff like that. And it's ridiculous and it makes no sense. And obviously I've proven to myself time and time again that no one's going to bite me. Haven't been bitten yet, other than by children. And
that's a great lesson, though. We catch ourselves in terms of that procrastination, even when you got to be there at a certain time.
Yeah, and I know better. I've proven it. I believe the opposite, and yet I still have that little bit of acting in that way. I think there's that part of it. One of the greatest, I was just on a call with Bob Ferguson.
Brings former client of the year for you
right,
guys.
And he brings snakes to our events, right?
Yeah,
and
I had a couple in my hands this
right.
last week.
And so to me, like the whole picking up a snake thing would be no problem because of something that happened in 2018. I was telling Bob this story on the call today. So in 2018, I went on a safari, and that's when I jumped off the cliff. You ever see that?
Yeah. You were like tied. Right. Yeah, that's awesome.
It wasn't a bungee; it was a swing. So you go down and then you swing out over. But the embarrassing thing is that was the second day that we went to that place, and on the first day, all my friends did it, but I didn't do it.
Ooh.
And I was like, as soon as we left that place, I'm like, oh, I'm such.
So you had regret?
Yeah, totally. But I was like, I don't want to do this, and I don't need to do this. And it's both were true, but at the same time, it's like, why didn't I do it?
So what shifted?
We just got lucky and we got a chance to go back because there was a zip line beside it. The kids wanted to do the zip line that we were with. So we went back and I was like, I'm just going to go and do this.
Nice.
And then so in Relentless by Tim Grover, he talks about don't think. And so I just went, listen, they do this all the time. My friends did it. They have procedures. Just go and do it. And then, I was like, hey, I'm all set in.
Yeah.
They go, yep. I'm good to go. Yep. All right. I'm just going to go. And I walked up and I didn't think, which is from Tim's book. Don't think,
just go.
Yeah. Just don't think. And
there's a lesson in that, by the way, and I'll apply it even to my life. It's stop playing small. Like if you're going to go after the big fish, then just go. Right. Put the big lure on and go. Right. And I was meditating this morning. It was about Aeon, and it's like, how many clients that I can get like that? These large clients. I mean, and one of our co-members in your mastermind it's Christian up in Alaska.
Oh yeah,
Christian
Muntean.
Yeah. And he sent an email off, and it's like, why are you chasing the $2,000 client when there's a $5 million client right there? And it's like, hit you in the face. Like, don't think. Like, I know what I want, so let's go.
Yeah,
that's
when you talk about working with these companies, it's just amazing how far companies can get working so poorly.
I did a presentation yesterday. I did the keynote kickoff for Aeon, British Columbia.
How many people do they have?
There, surprisingly, I thought there was only going to be 20. There were 50, and it was great. And then there's an after effect. The ripple effect was getting there early. You're talking about the discipline of being early. Before you arrived, I set up my camera and everything else. Before the event, the day before, because I arrived the night before, I went to Aeon and I said, hey, I just want to check the audio video just to make sure that we're all going to be good. And they were having a wine and cheese event in the building. Okay. So, that's fine. I got introduced to a couple of new leads because of it. Yeah. And these are big leads. So it's like, not to say that I don't want to help as many people as I can. It's who do I want to choose to help? That's going to have a ripple effect that's going to be bigger for my purpose of being here.
Right. But, if you get paid the big bucks, then you can go and make all this free stuff and help more people.
Correct. Yeah. you and Daniel writing the book, The Dark Side of Discipline. If discipline beats talent, why do so many talented people still fail?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of talented people with that negative self-talk, with bad habits. I mean, you and I follow a little bit of pro sports. And
sure.
Like, you can always think of people who got drafted or
Yeah.
people who didn't get drafted.
Yeah.
Along the way.
Gavin, his story.
Yeah. Along the way, there's just everything from, they get into drugs and alcohol. They get into believing themselves to be better than they are and not doing the work. And then they talk themselves out of the success.
You mentioned Bob Ferguson, who was 2024.
No, 2023.
2023 Client of the Year?
Yeah, because Allison.
And then MT. Bob is now your first executive coaching client.
Yeah.
How many of those executive coaching clients do you plan on having?
I'll probably have 5. I have 3 right now.
And just so that people get a sense of that kind of you want to talk quality and whatnot, what does it cost to get executive coaching from Craig Ballantyne? And again, it's not an hourly thing; it's the result here. Because Bob started off as a company that had $2 million.
Yep. And
through your coaching, I'm aware of the story, and I've watched him go, and it's inspiring. $2 million a year business, and the business was already 15 to 20 years old, and it was basically at this point. And then you helped him change.
We helped
you and Daniel played a big part in that, as well as Gavin, as well as Galel.
Well, that's probably
Shannon.
The biggest part. Yeah.
And so, switching all of these gears, I mean, he goes from 2 to 5, and then you guys pushed him to go from 5 to 10, and now he jumps on board with you.
Yeah, it's crazy that he went from 2 to 4 to 4 to 5.5, and then from 5.5 to 10, which is like a crazy thing, right?
Yeah. And he's just getting started.
Yeah, he is, and he works very little, as he says, because he's got the
How many hours a week do you think he's actually working now?
I would say probably
30.
I would say 30.
See, that's freedom.
Right. It definitely is.
Yeah.
But, there was a lot of mindset shifts and things. And
it's awesome.
He's had great response.
If you had to strip your success, I mean, Craig, there's a lot of people that look at what you do. And again, now as a father of 3 children under the age of 4.
Yep.
Successful business, a growing mastermind.
Got to go to art class yesterday at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Nice.
Right? I'm the only dude in the class.
It's awesome. If you had to strip your success down to 3 rules you never violate, what are they?
3 rules that I never violate.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say that always believe in myself.
Yeah.
And so I was going to say always stay positive.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had a lot of rough points in business and life, and I always just know we're going to figure it out, right?
So faith.
Yeah. So but the first one is believing in myself, right? And knowing that I'm going to figure it out, knowing that if I'm not going to figure it out, I know somebody who's going to figure it out for me.
Yeah.
Right. So the way that I look at it is when someone joins our coaching program, if you think back to like a mob movie, they have the phrase "made man," right?
Right.
Once you're at a certain level inside the family, there's a ceremony where they turn you into a made man. And when you're a made man, nobody can do anything to you. And if anybody does, then all of a sudden it's an all-out turf war.
Yeah.
So becoming a made man, like in my mind, that's what I am. And that's what all our clients are, because we'll go to whatever lengths to make sure that you know the people you need to know. That if you fall down, you'll get back on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the type of thing that once you get inside the right people and have that mindset for yourself, then it's all going to work out. I think the next thing is, I will always work in the morning.
Okay.
Right. And the reason why is because there's fewer distractions, and I'm like anybody else. I'm a human person, and distractions slow me down. And I know that I am also creative in the morning. And so that's my best time. But most importantly, it's just that I'm a weak person. So I'm setting myself up for success by working in the morning when there's greater strength. Naturally, you have greater willpower, discipline, and intention, and you have fewer distractions.
Yeah.
So I'm stacking the deck in my favor.
You guys this past week at the mastermind triggered something in terms of me. And again, it takes courage to be able to say that weakness that you could see. Yeah. And I decided right then and there, and I took action right away. I canceled Disney Plus. I canceled my Netflix subscription, called my wife, said, Shauna, if you catch me watching TV, I'm making a $500 donation to a political party in the United States.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter which one, because I don't like either of them.
Yeah.
I have nothing against the US. It's just the political parties themselves. And so it's because, think of it, even if I was just watching an hour a day, that's 30 hours that I've just gotten back that I can put towards my book that's coming out this year, like period.
Yeah.
So that it's powerful. So believing in yourself, always staying positive, morning work.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome.
Totally.
What do you teach? Let's go into sales and marketing a little bit. What do you teach high performers to do differently before someone ever says yes, that the average marketers completely miss?
Results in advance is probably a big one.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So, I'm a big fan of consultative selling, which I think, is kind of your approach too.
Yep.
And, if I, like I sold this guy into a small program yesterday because, I was doing a sales call because we have so many calls booked.
Yeah, you got
right?
a lot of leads coming in. Good for you, man.
And so I'm like, I'm going to give this guy like everything I got on this call. And it was great because at the end I go, okay, so, man, what did he, it was something like, he stopped me. He stopped me and he goes, okay, that's enough. You don't have to do any more. Like, I'm in.
He was in. That's
like,
that's such a great feeling.
Yeah.
You're drawing them in, right?
Yeah.
They want to buy as opposed to being sold.
Yeah. And then he said, normally I don't do this, but I'm going to give you my card right now.
Let's go.
Normally I think about this. I'm like, oh, okay. So this is good. I'm like,
congratulations, man.
Yeah.
That feels good.
And, I mentioned this phrase in the newsletter. I'm not sure if I mentioned it directly to you, but, I got this book. It's called The First Meeting Differentiator.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a decent book. But it says like the very first question that they recommend you ask
what would be the best use of your time?
Yeah. And to value you, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, in order for this call to be the best use of your time, what do we need to make sure that we talk about today?
Yeah.
And then, they just go off and, they feel value from the start. It's like, oh, you're here
respected,
to listen to me.
Validated.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, we'll get to my stuff at the end. And I also lead the conversation by saying, I'm a curious person. I'm going to ask you a lot of questions, and then you can ask me a lot of questions. That's essentially our agenda today.
I'm the objection guy, and it's not about confrontation. It's about better understanding. Yeah. For you, when someone says, I need to think about it, what do you believe is actually happening in their head?
I believe that they're looking for a way out, right? Like they're, because when I say it, I'm looking for a way out. Like I'm looking for a way to justify not spending the money, right? Because I'm a cheap person.
Is it being cheap, or is it something else underlying that?
I think it is partially for me personally being cheap.
Is that an identity thing from your upbringing? Because I know that you're the farm boy from Ontario.
Sure. I mean, there's definitely like I spend a lot of money on a lot of things, but I don't spend any money on certain things. Yeah. And then when it comes to certain other things, it takes me a while to get around to it. So I think that a lot of people, spending money is challenging for most people.
Yeah.
Making the investment.
When
you invest in yourself, it's putting pressure on you, but pressure should be a privilege, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of things going through it, and it's definitely, there's 1,000,001 reasons why someone would say they want to think about it.
Yeah.
They don't trust themselves.
That's big.
They're worried about what their spouse might say. Because this guy did say, he said something about his spouse and which card and stuff like that, but he was so into it. He's like,
he dove in.
Yeah, he's like, he runs
good for him.
He runs the business. It's his business. His spouse works in the business, but he runs it.
Yep.
So it's his decision to make. I think a lot of people also just don't want to bet on themselves. Like they could go, man, like Joe's awesome. I see that people get results.
Yeah.
I see that his system works, but I don't dare bet on myself.
Right.
Because I've either bet on myself in the past and lost. A lot of people, like one of this guy's biggest objections that he started off with was something we hear all the time, which was, I just got out of another coaching program where I got no value.
Yeah, I didn't get the result that he wanted.
The woman didn't even want to be doing it. And they took 4 weeks till we had our first call.
Yeah.
I'm like, great. That's exactly the opposite of what you will experience with us if I can just get you to try it.
Yeah.
And, by the end of it, he's talking about coming to Nashville. He's like, I need to be around more people. And,
it's funny too, because a lot of people will call and they'll say, Joe, you know what? One of the challenges is that I've been afraid to call you because I know you're going to sell me. And I'm like, okay, let's just stop right there.
Yeah, let's unpack all of that.
I'm not here to sell you. you're going to make a decision and no is acceptable. I'm here to be the guy who's going to help you be more confident so that when you can walk in and grow, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the identity.
You know what's amazing? Our friend Mary Therese.
Yeah.
So she joined our, I think at the time it was $30,000 a year mastermind program.
That was in 2022.
Right, when her revenue was $175,000,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So she's probably taking home
Making
most
a big
of
risk.
that,
Yeah.
right? Because she was a one-woman shop. So now she's not. But that, like when people come to our program, they go, "Oh, most of your clients are probably doing like $5 million." I go, like, some of them are.
Some of them are.
But there's we got people doing $250,000. It's just like, but
and they're growing.
Yeah, they don't plan on being
right.
there. But I mean, when I joined my first program in 2000, so when I hired Tom in 2006, I think I spent $5,000 and I was making, between personal training and online, I was probably making like maybe 200. And then when I joined Yonex the year after that,
Yonex Silver,
it was 15,000 and I was probably over 500. But I mean, but I knew like to me at that time, but also it's like different, as a single guy, it's different when you're married, kids or stuff like that. But also like you don't have to pay it all at once in a lot of cases. But, to her credit, to bet on herself, right? Like she saw something in herself that I wish more people saw in themselves.
Sometimes it's just a question of hanging around with the right people so that you get that shift.
Mm-hmm.
You think about because it's not just the coaches that you get, it's also the community, whether it's within your mastermind or within the dojo. Like there's people within the dojo community that lift other people up and it's fun to watch. Like, think of Vive.
Yeah.
Vive comes in and
great.
He's shifted a lot of people's, feeling about themselves, including me, by the way. I love this guy. It's wonderful.
And like, that's just seeing him go out there and, like Vive he's got a heavy Indian accent.
He's doing
and
it.
He makes Instagram content.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if this guy can do it, why am I not tripling my product?
That's it.
But man, the other thing I was going to say, dang, I lost my train of thought. It was something that we had talked about earlier, but it's that belief in yourself.
It was probably in around the I need to think about it.
It might have been.
It's
just that Mary Therese was at that level, and there are people
believing in herself.
There are people way further down who come up with all the reasons
not to
do something.
Well, it's something that I actually I'm going to save this question.
Sure.
It'll be the last question.
Oh, I know. I was going to talk about the community.
Yeah.
In that at the event, I could have came in, did 15-minute presentation, and left.
Right.
And just locked you guys in the room for the rest of the day and let you chat it amongst yourselves.
And we would have gotten a ton of value out of that.
Exactly.
And as you know, whether it's Ann Laguza, myself, we value just the wisdom and your experience because you've paid to be around other people in other rooms and you get to bring that. And that's the thing. You've time collapsed. We've all had opportunities to time collapse different areas of our lives. And then getting this mastermind together, you being a part of it brings a ton of value.
Yeah. And so it's the phrase.
That's why I haven't left.
It's the phrase that I use, exponential learning, right?
Yeah.
So if you're out learning from 10, I'm out learning from 10 people, Ann's learning from 10 people, and we come together, we're now learning from 30 people.
Right.
But those people that they're learning from are learning. And
so on and so on and so on. We're standing on the shoulders of giants.
Right. But if you're in a group where no one, it's like the old white man group where it's, this guy's.
And they're in locked doors and they never go out.
And they've been doing the same thing for 30 years and they're not interested. That's the wrong room to be in. And, to be honest, hardly anybody's in those rooms anymore.
Right.
Maybe 5 or 10 years ago they were. But right now, I mean, most people, getting in a room is the first step. I think the biggest thing is not necessarily being in a room where people don't have information. I think the information is so out there.
Yeah.
It's the right morals and ethics. And that's, I've been in groups, that 100 million mastermind group, there's guys now in prison from that group.
What?
Yes. I'm wearing the hat.
You're wearing the hat.
But the group no longer exists. But there are guys in prison now because, they were just bad guys to begin with. And it's like, oh, I'm going to put together this group with all these really successful people. And these vultures are like, oh, I'll get in there and like take money from them.
Right.
And they were like real estate guys, developers and stuff. And, and they've been arrested. And it's crazy to think about that.
Unbelievable.
But that's the biggest risk that you take. And especially if you're like walking in kind of naive into a wrong room,
right.
you can be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Whether it's like, oh, you come into the room, you think you're getting something, and it's like, oh, you don't get the actual thing until you pay me another
$100,000.
Yeah. I've seen rooms like that, and there's just all types of people out there, and so we ruthlessly protect that.
You do a great job of it,
and so of course, no group is perfect, but we protect our people. You're in a safe space. You can share. You'll be connected with good people. We curate the introductions.
Safety is so important. I mean, and think of it going back to the betting on yourself. A lot of people that's part of the 4 things that are going to help you improve and get mastery in anything. The first place is a valid environment. You need a safe place to make mistakes, because if you make an error and somebody belittles you, then suddenly you're going to hold it in, and you're never going to want to expand and stretch out of your comfort zone. And the only way you get into your money zone is stretching out of your comfort zone. And so curating the space, whether it's in the dojo where you want to practice, it's the same thing, because people are going to make mistakes, and that's okay. Better for you to make mistakes when you practice, as opposed to getting on a phone call or getting in front of a room and speaking, and you're winging it.
Right, and then your tuition is much more expensive.
Yeah, you're paying the tax.
Yeah. Exactly.
So what does a perfect week look like for you now? You wrote the book, The Perfect Day Formula, and that's the book that basically got me hooked on Craig Ballantyne. You've also wrote the better book, and I agree, it was the better book, The Perfect Week. What does a perfect week look like for you now, and what would you never go back to?
Oh, that's a good question. So perfect week is basically perfect day, because all my days look the same.
Right.
Michelle and I wake up and like, what day? The only way we know what day it is based on what activities the kids have.
Okay.
Right? So I don't, so I'm always up at the same time. I'm always working. I'll do it 365 days a year. I'll sit in front of the computer for a couple hours and write, because that's what I do.
That's what you do.
It's like telling Picasso not to paint. No one would tell him not to paint, so no one's going to tell me not to write.
Nice.
And then it's family time, and then it's either a little bit more work time, or I'll go to the gym.
Yeah.
And then lunch, and then in the afternoon I'll do some filming or some recording or something like that, or some calls.
Yeah.
And then usually done by 4. And I would say I don't think I'll ever go back to being on the road. I think being on the road is romantic in a way.
Yeah.
I got invited to speak yesterday, and I'm like, part of me wants to say yes, but it's a dumb idea. And so, no, I can't do it for many reasons. And then I canceled a speaking event that I was offered today, because it's just, I was telling my mother-in-law is staying with us right now because Michelle's coming back from the surgery. And so she was asking me about the event. I was like, it'd be interesting, but it wouldn't be valuable.
See, that's the key.
And I used to take all the interesting stuff.
Right.
But I'm not going back to that. Because,
good for you.
But, but I almost got like hooked in because I had such a great travel experience coming back from the mastermind.
Yeah.
Phoenix Airport, everyone was nice.
It is.
And then Delta had a great plane. And then I got to Salt Lake City, and that airport was nice, and everything ran smooth. And flights were 5 minutes early. And I'm like, oh, I could get used to this. But then I'm like, just remember all the 6-hour delays.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. And so, and then being away from the kids is the main
It's
thing.
so tough.
So I think not going back to that, not going back to there's a lot of calls that I still have to do that I don't want to do.
Right.
But like completely dreading talking to somebody, I'm not going back to that.
Gotcha. Couple more questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we're right on time. So what's a success habit people copy that actually destroys their quality of life?
I think what people do is they collect all these things that other people do. Okay. And so I'm not thinking, I am just going to see that, Tim Ferriss does X and Brene Brown does Y, and then this person does Z. And now I've got, A to Z, all these things that I have to do because that's what successful people do. But there's no self-reflection and introspection. And so I'm very simple. Like my supplement list is about 2 things long. My daily routine is about 3 minutes long, and my morning routine is about 3 minutes long.
You're the king of the short morning routine.
I just want minimal.
Yeah.
Once I get a 6th t-shirt, that means one of the other t-shirts has to go. There's only room for 5 t-shirts in my life. There's only room, I don't want anything except the freedom and the white space and the time. And so I find that people try and cram too much stuff in, and they're doing good things. But this goes back to the dark side of discipline. The dark side of discipline being a double-edged sword. It's discipline to do all these routines.
Sure.
But
to what end?
But there's no value to it. It's interesting. It's discipline. But if you're doing 19 things and the 20th thing is the actual thing that you should be doing, well, the first 19 things,
irrelevant.
Yeah. Irrelevant, negative, actually.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And, we talked first about what don't I tolerate and people dragging other people down.
Yeah.
And this is the dark side of discipline. People are dragging themselves down, dragging others down by insisting that they, do two workouts a day or, join 75 hard. Like it's not the right thing for you.
Right.
And by peer pressuring somebody into doing it, they're missing out on doing the thing that matters, and it's making their life worse. And that's so hard for people to comprehend, that doing something that's quote unquote good actually makes your life worse.
It's going backwards.
But it does in many cases.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to go, wait a minute, here's what I know about myself. Here's what I want to achieve. Here's what I'm willing to do and what I'm not willing to do. And now I know exactly how I should operate.
Yeah.
But most people don't put 1, 2, and 3 together. They just see and they go, monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
And that's not how monkey gets the banana.
And do you know the story about how they trap monkeys and the whole thing about the banana? This is really interesting. And I've heard this analogy, and so they put a banana in a jar, and the banana fits in, and you can put your hand in the jar.
You can't get it out.
So the thing is, once you put your hand around the banana, the monkey can't get its hand out. And then the people just walk right up to the monkey, who's still trying to get the banana, and freaking out, and it won't let go of the banana.
I see.
And you know what? The lesson is, let go.
Yeah.
Like, let go of the banana, dude, or let go of all your morning routine stuff. Yeah. Focus in on, because you said it earlier, and it might be interesting. Let go of what's interesting and hang on to what's valuable. Yeah. And letting go of the banana is the valuable, because that's where you get freedom.
Right. Exactly.
If you're a bunch of monkeys.
Man, that is such a that's a good one. That's a real
last question, my friend. This is my mic drop closer. What's the price that people pay when they keep negotiating with themselves?
Oh man, it's everything. The future, because if you negotiate with yourself and you don't make the change now, it's only harder tomorrow, right? So I like to say, to create urgency, we talk about this a lot in sales and marketing. Like, okay, you can do, hey, we only have a certain number of things left, which is true. But if you don't have a certain number of things left, what do you got? Well, there's going to be a time limit on it. We're only going to sell this until then.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you're going to sell it forever and there's not a certain number of things, what's the urgency?
Right.
Well, the fact is that you're here today means you're interested.
Right.
And if you don't do something today, you're interested in any of a problem. And right now, your interest is actually greater than your problem. If you don't do something today, the problem gets worse and your interest goes down. And this is like New Year's people, right? If they don't get success fast, the interest goes down and the problem gets higher. And so that's what, we are here right now, and you're listening to this and you want to change. And if you're negotiating with yourself out of changing, you're going to be in a worse place tomorrow. The problem's going to be either that much bigger or it's going to be that much bigger.
It's going to be, the word is regret. Yeah. I wrote it down. It's regret.
And your motivation is going to be slowly or quickly going away.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, it's going to be like, well, I'll have to wait till January 1st again.
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing that you can do. It's awesome.
Craig Ballantyne, you know what? I'm going to see you in Nashville.
Yeah.
I'll be contacting you back and forth on email.
Yeah, hopefully back here for another.
Yeah, I would intend to be back here for another Vancouver speaking event. If people can my audience is likely aware of you. If they want to get in contact with you, find out more about the Unstoppable Mastermind, become a member like I am. Yep. How do they get a hold of you or your team?
Instagram @Real Craig Ballantyne.
It's a great thing to follow.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Instagram's the easiest way, and I will respond directly.
Yeah, he will. He will. Craig, love you, brother. Thanks,
Awesome,
man.
man.
All right.
We almost did the old man handshake. Old white man handshake. I got to make a post about it because I do it all the time. It's like one guy goes like this, the other guy goes like this, then this guy goes like this, and this guy goes like this.
And then it's like, high five. Let's do it over again. High five. And then it's like that.
So bad.